How's it going, Jack Tackers, and welcome back to another video for you guys. Today, I'm going to be ranking all 6 seasons of the Eric Andre Show from the worst to the best. But I need to preface this ranking with the fact that I love all of these seasons. I don't really think there's a truly worst season, but, it's a tricky ranking to do because this is one of my all-time favorite shows, and it's definitely one of the funniest shows I've ever seen. So keep that in mind as we go through this ranking. If I do happen to rank your favorite season at the bottom, doesn't mean I hate it. It's just my personal least favorite, and I'll try and explain why. But without further ado, let's just jump on into the ranking. Starting off at number 6, my least favorite season of the show is Season 6, the newest season. And again, I still really enjoy it. I think it's very funny still, and luckily, I don't think the show has lost its magic. I know some people probably think it has, but in my opinion, it's still very hilarious. And the thing about Season 6, again, similar to Season 5, which we'll talk about in a minute, this feels pretty different from some of the earlier seasons. The budget's at an all-time high. They have a bunch of elaborate props and pranks, and it definitely feels more like a prank show than any other season. But to a degree, that's what the show always has been. I just feel like it's evolved to be something a bit crazier over time. And again, no Hannibal this season, which does suck. Still not quite over that, to be honest. I do love Felipe, though. However, I feel like he was kind of underutilized this season. I know he's just the co-host. He's kind of there just to, be there. He's not supposed to do that much, if we're being honest. I mean, Hannibal didn't do that much either, but I mean, he's got some very iconic moments. And I don't know, I do kind of feel like Felipe was a little underutilized. And again, the celebrities know what they're getting themselves into, which is interesting, but they do still pull off some pretty funny things with these celebrities. I mean, the Jaden Smith interview's hilarious. Also, the Donald Glover one, the John Hamm interview. There's so many great interviews this season, and the celebrities' reactions are just priceless, as always. And yeah, it's still funny. In my opinion, it's my least favorite. I would prefer to watch the other seasons over this one if I had to. But anyway, moving on to number 5, I have Season 5. Again, a lot of the same problems with this season that I have with Season 6, because it really does feel like a bit of a reboot for the show. Coming off that long break from Season 4, the show is not necessarily unrecognizable, but it's very different. We have a different set, very different set from the first 4 seasons. I mean, the set from the first 4 seasons, they definitely changed it a little bit, but it still kind of felt the same. And of course, this is the season where Hannibal leaves. He's in only a few episodes of this season, and he looks completely different. Hannibal Buress just had a glow up. What can I say? But I do miss his presence, and I feel like in this season they're trying to figure out what to do with the co-host situation. We have Blanable, which is funny. Lakeith Stanfield, also hilarious, and I do sometimes wonder if he should have been the permanent co-host rather than Felipe, but I still love Felipe. I don't know, that might be a hot take, but I don't know, I thought Lakeith Stanfield was hilarious as the co-host. Yeah, he was great. And sometimes I do wonder, actually, if Season 5 should have been the last season. The way the finale ended kind of felt like a good send-off to the show and could have kind of wrapped things up after that long break from Season 4. But Season 6 was still good. I don't know. We're kind of in a weird spot with the Eric Andre Show right now, where the show's still good, but it's just not quite on the same level as the first 4 seasons. Doesn't quite compete with the others, in my opinion. And yeah, these last 2 seasons that we've had, Season 6 and 5, have kind of been their own era of the show. Still a good show. It's just, I don't know. They do feel different. And that's all I got to say about it. But moving on, these top 4 seasons are really good, and they're classics in my book. But at number 4, I have Season 1. And I know a lot of people probably enjoy this season because it is the season that started it off. And, without this season, we wouldn't have the rest of the show. And there's a special quality to it. And speaking of quality, the camera quality is not good. It's very grainy. Does kind of hurt the season, in my opinion. It does add to the vibe, but ultimately, it kind of ruins my enjoyment of Season 1 just a tiny bit. The camera quality, this came out in 2012. Why does it look that bad? I don't know. It's just kind of funny. It does feel somewhat nostalgic, though, for that reason. At the same time, I'm kind of conflicted on the camera quality overall. I feel like I need HD. I don't know. And this season obviously doesn't have as many celebrity guest interviews. So we have people pretending to be celebrities, which is kind of a recurring theme throughout the show, but never really played up as much as it is in season 1. Of course, Reese Witherspoon, of course, I'm talking about. And the George Clooney lookalike, the Jack Nicholson impersonator. It's hilarious. I do love where they're just kind of pretending to be these celebrities. And this season, in many ways, feels a bit more creative than any other season because they kind of have to do things a bit more off the cuff and just ultimately be more creative. But that's something that I like about this season. I just think that these last 3 seasons are the peak of the show and yet again in another era of the show. But at number 3, I have season 2. And it really does get tricky from here on out, but I decided to put season 2 here for not really any main reason other than, again, I think seasons 4 and 3 are better. And these top 3 are just the peak of the show. And season 2, they really did find their footing a bit more than season 1, of course. And there's more celebrity guest interviews, which I feel like I don't, love the show just because of the guest interviews, but I don't know. I think the guests are what makes the show funny. Like, we're pranking these celebrities. They don't know what they're getting themselves into, and that's very evident in this season. The Kristen Ritter interview, Lou Ferrigno, Lance Reddick, you need a new desk. They're all classics. There's some just classic interviews in this season. Also, great memes, like Who Killed Hannibal? That's from this season as well. So it's just a banger season. I love it, but I just like the other 2 a bit more. Anyways, at number 2, I have season 4. And a very funny season yet again. My favorite interviews of this season, probably the Jeanette McCurdy interview and the Jack Black interview where they're shocking him. Another classic in my opinion. And this one did feel like an end of an era for the show because after this one, where we move to seasons 5 and 6, feels a little different. But I love season 4. I love Eric's hairdo. It's just completely unhinged. He's very unhinged in this season, as always. And yeah, I think it's a solid season. Don't have much to say about this one. I mean, this is virtually a perfect season of the show, and I love it. I find it to be very hilarious. But at number 1, I have season 3, Bird Up. End of discussion. No. But yeah, the Bird Up episode is probably my favorite episode of the whole show. And this is actually the season I was introduced to the show with. This is the first season I recall watching. And we have some great interviews again. The Tyler, the Creator interview. And Jimmy Kimmel. That's all in one episode. And that's a fantastic episode. I mean, those are just great moments in this show. And this is the peak of the series for me. I don't know. I just think it is. Seth Rogen interview also is hilarious in this season. And yeah, I don't know. Love season 3. I have no negatives with it. It's perfect. It's funny. Whenever I need a laugh, I usually watch things from season 3. Well, seasons 2 through 3 overall. I mean... But the whole show's funny. That's the thing. Like, I don't know. Hard ranking. I don't really think there's a wrong ranking, to be honest. Like, you could rank whatever season over what, and I would agree with it because I love all of them. And I hope we get a season 7. I hope we get a season 8. I hope we get a season 9. I don't know. I don't really want the show to ever end. I think it's still funny, in my opinion. And I really love it and would be sad if it ever got canceled. But... I know some people, you don't want the show to go on forever because then it would be, kind of ruins it. But I don't think the show's lost its charm yet. I don't know. That's just my opinion. But post your thoughts and comments on this ranking and post your ranking down below. And if you guys liked this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and check out my Letterboxd and Twitter in the description. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.